shower. Please let me know next time when you are in Los Angeles. I have a few girlfriends with me now, so you should have some girly time. Missing you. Link. In 2009, someone's emailing Jeffree, very concerned that they might be pregnant, it seems. This is like while he was in jail. Okay, here's another email communication between someone and Jeffree back in 2017. So in this email, Jeffree's giving some advice to a woman who appears to be pregnant, and she responds and says, Jeffree, thank you so very much. I really trust and appreciate your opinion. How is your pregnant friend? Did she make it to New York okay? Was the flight okay? I am seriously considering going back to Moscow until the baby arrives. Now, this was an email exchange between Nicole Junkerman from 2007.
I don't give a fuck. Hi. Hello. Oh, hush it up, That's whenever I say the word hello, he has a problem. Every time. Every time. I don't know why that is such a trigger word for him. Hi. Maybe it's the way I say it. I don't know. Hi, everybody. I am on my last leg. Whatever energy I have, it's literally the last bit of it. I had to drag my butt here today. I am very tired. I have not been this tired in a very long time. I'm just pooped out. My soul is tired. Everything's tired. Okay. However, I told y'all I was going to come on here today. So I said, let me go and get it out of the way. And I will not be here tomorrow because I will be asleep. Okay. Let me tell you, I was talking to my auntie today and I was telling her about the experience of writing this book and just all of the history learned and the research and all that stuff. And I was telling her how tired I was. And I said, I feel like, I just think this is just part of the process, the healing process. This is my auntie that's a nurse. I said, I think this is part of the healing process in this whole situation. I can tell you, I probably felt the same way too after I figured out about religion back in the day, because I haven't been to a church in like 35 years. And just, it's almost like you're just grieving the loss of something because you just figured out it's a scam. That's how I feel about this. Like we've just been living a fucking lie the whole time. Like we're being scammed. We're being bamboozled. And waking up from a long slumber is very difficult. Hi. This is what awakening in the very beginning is going to feel like for a lot of y'all. Okay? That's what it is. I am experiencing an awakening, and you too are going to experience that awakening when you get the book. And when you read the book, you're going to experience so many aha. And then you're going to get to the point where none of the shit that's happening today bothers you. Like you just don't give a fuck anymore. You literally just don't give a fuck. And that is once you come through the process and you experience all of the emotions and you start feeling lighter in your spirit. When you see all the shit that's going on, I'm going to tell you the line that you're going to say in your mind. I promise you. I'm just predicting that this is going to be the line. We already went through that. Please go lay down. We already went through that. It feels like we climbing out of something. And that's it. It's going on all over the world. This is not just us, but I just feel like this is an awakening that we are all experiencing right now. And I don't know if it's the age of Aquarius or what, but it's happening. And you're going to look around and you're not going to give a fuck. As a Black person, you are not going to give a fuck about them Epstein things. You're not going to give a fuck about all of this shit that they upset about. You are not going to care. I promise. You're just not going to extend your energy anymore. And that's what reallocation means. We are going to be reallocating our time and our energy and our focus on us. We're no longer going to be sacrificing ourselves, whether that's mentally, physically, spiritually, to save this fucking country. We're out. You got it, dog. Well, it's time for everyone to join the fight. No, it's time for y'all to join the fight. It's time for y'all to fight. Y'all fight. Go ahead. You got it. You got it. We're done. We fought at the voting booth. We fought back in November. So whatever fighting you want to do, have at it. We're done. We've been fighting for centuries. We've been fighting for centuries. And y'all have done everything in your power not to improve. And that just goes to show you, if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't think anything about them is wrong, then they're a narcissist. And white people are literally the epitome of narcissism. Hey, Miss Kristen, I just sent y'all the book. They have to be the center of the universe. Everything has to revolve around them. They don't think that anything they have done is wrong. They don't think anything that they do is wrong. That is narcissism. That's what we have been dealing with for centuries. And so just like y'all will go and see a therapist about your narcissistic husband or your narcissistic wife or your narcissistic mama, that's the whole group of white people. All of them, every last one of them. So when they say, oh, we're all the same, it is. They are all sociopaths. They are sociopaths. Classic. And they just inflict that shit on everybody. You know, and that's what we talk about in the book, because it's like, y'all can sit back and study everything you want to study about Black history, right? You can just study all this shit about Black people and our past and our history and this idea, but none of it is going to make any sense until you study them. You're going to be still missing a whole chunk of what the fuck is really going on around here. You cannot just study one side of the whip. And you cannot live your life just focused on one side. It has to be a balance. What the fuck happened? Whenever somebody says what the fuck happened, let's just say it's a police officer. If a police officer comes up on the scene and he says what happened, he's going to ask both sides, right? He's just not going, study them the way the way they study us. We should know from all of our interactions with these motherfuckers, we should know exactly who they are. Yet you continue to give these people a fucking pass. You will hold Black people accountable all day long. And Black people will hold Democrats accountable all day long. But when it comes to them motherfuckers, you just give them a pass every time. Every time. And I have to go back to, it's our programming. We have been programmed to not expect accountability from white people. That's what it is. I mean, if you got they created a whole new race of people with biracial people. They filled the country up with biracial people, right? But here's the thing. That is the original deadbeat dad. White men have shown you that they're willing to have kids and not take care of them. That's mixed babies. I already shared the statistics with y'all before about how white men don't take care of their kids. How black men take care of their kids and are in their kids' lives more than white men are. Even Hispanic men. White men are in their kids' lives less than that. And they got us out here thinking that they're supposed to be these great dads. So everything negative that they have said about us is literally a projection. It's a projection. Because y'all can clearly see what these people are into. Right? Y'all can clearly see. And that information is going to be in volume 2. Why is there so much incest and child SA in that community? It's in your inbox, Kristen. It's in your inbox. Why is there so much of that? Yes, that too. I worked for a guy when I was 18 years old. I worked at a video store, and it was owned by this old white man. This old white man had those videos in the back office, and people would come in and privately rent them. So you have all these white people sitting around clutching their pearls. They're just, they're eating people. Is that new? Is eating people new? Who is it new? Who is it new for? Who eating people? They had whole recipe books for us. They were making furniture and shoes out of our skin. They were skinning us like you would an animal, making lampshades and shit. Oh my God. They're sacrificing. Y'all think that shit just began? Y'all think the shit, y'all think that they really do think that the shit that they're saying today is new shit. The reason that they're trying really, really hard to erase the past is so they can do the same shit again. As long as there's no history of your crime, you're going to commit that crime again. If you allow them to shenan once, they're going to shenan again. No, but Nicki Minaj needs help. They're really trying to drag Jay-Z and Beyonce into this shit. Well, Beyonce is listed in the Epstein files, such as... No, the fuck she's not. No, the fuck she's not. Stop it. They've been saying that Illuminati mess for years about that woman. That woman is a Southern woman that drinks brown liquor and smokes weed with her husband. That is, Beyonce is literally the most non-problematic fucking celebrity out there. That girl you talk about staying in your fucking lane. Even though it would be hard as hell for me to stay in my lane, I'd be cussing people out left and right. That is the least problematic celebrity of all time. That woman's like, I don't give a fuck. I got daughters and a son and a husband and parents and sisters. I don't have time for this. I do not have time. Y'all literally sit around making up Beyonce lies. Like, this woman's like, who the fuck? Why? Why? For what? I don't hear them talking about Woody Allen. And the only reason they ain't saying nothing about Rump is because they're afraid. And he was in the files more than anybody. Literally, he was in the files just about as much as Epstein. So it is what it is. Hold on, let me get over to the book. I told you I was going to talk about these white women today. I told you I was going to talk about these white women. Share the live. Tap the screen. La, 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 la. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Boop, 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 boop. Let's talk about these bitches. Shall we? Little ball of sunshine. I am a big ball of sunshine, bitch. Oh, you white women. Where you white women at? Come on in here, white women, so y'all can learn some shit about yourselves. So you can learn why you became a Karen. So you can learn why you are the way you are today. Because you were literally invented. White women. Quiet power. The myth of the reluctant mistress. You always get this, and they've always given us this impression that white women were just so innocent and pure, and their husbands were just rogues and spending their time down in the slave quarters, and they were just so upset by it. And help me. I'm a damsel in distress. Right? I'm so pure. I'm as pure as a driven snow. Right? The archive does not support that myth. White women were not passive bystanders to slavery. They were managers, enforcers, and beneficiaries of it. The story we've been told is soft, that white women were somehow outside the brutality of slavery, gentler, kinder, trapped inside a system run by men that they benefited from, yes, but reluctantly. They lived close enough to the violence to witness it, but not close enough to shape it. The records say otherwise. Slavery was not only upheld by men with whips, it was maintained daily by women with keys. Keys to the kitchens, the quarters, the nurseries, the account books, and the locks. White women did not need to stand in the field to enforce domination. They ruled from the house. And the house was not a refuge, it was a headquarters. Whips did not disappear, they were normalized. Violence was not exceptional, it was managerial. These women were not acting outside the system, they were operating it. Not as caricatures, not as monsters, but as professionals in a structure that rewarded efficiency, punished hesitation, and called both order. Hi. And that is the point this chapter lands on. Slavery survived as long as it did, not because cruelty was rare, but because it was routinized. It was recorded, rewarded, and even in places we've been taught to imagine as gentle. From the ledger to the bedroom, white women as brokers of respectability and sexual control. Once the plantation learned it could survive on paperwork instead of pure force, it needed a new technology, not for labor, for legitimacy. This is where white women became indispensable, not as victims of the system, but as its moral translators. Violence alone could control bodies, but it took respectability to control meaning. Respectability was the upgrade. Share the live. Tap in the comments where you're listening from. Where are you listening from? Okay. After open brutality became politically inconvenient, slavery didn't soften, it rebranded. Remember the word rebrand, because that's all America has ever done. Do you know why Trump is the literal epitome? Let me stop for a second. That motherfucker is the perfect epitome of what America is in real life. Everything about him was rebranding. He never built anything. He never constructed anything. He never finished any projects. He just slapped his name on everything. Whether it was liquor or steaks or water or buildings or watches or phones or anything, he just slapped his name on it. And then here's the part you need to understand. They consider that to be legitimate. They respect that. Yeah, Elon Musk did the same thing. Same exact thing. He never built Tesla. He never built any of these things. He just slapped his name on it. This is how they've gotten patents. This is how they've done all of the shit. Because a lot of the things that were invented by Black people. And they just came along and stole it and put their names on it. You know why? Because patents cost money. Black people have and always had ingenuity. We just didn't have any money. So when you put these laws in place that everything costs money to do it, then that immediately shuts out Black people. He is literally the perfect person to represent America. Just ghetto, thievery, just lazy as fuck, just entitled. Everything that you think about that man is what America is. He is perfect. The perfect representative. The dogs have been on a tear today. Hi. Jordy says it's because it's the full moon, especially Linka. So hold on. After open brutality became politically inconvenient, slavery didn't soften, it rebranded. Hey, get out of that window. Yes. Y'all hear him tell me no? You hear him tell me no? Jordan, you didn't open the window and turn on the fan for me. White women became the public-facing proof that the system was civilized. If a woman could run it, then it must be orderly. If a lady approved it, then it must be moral. If a home can contain it, then it couldn't be barbaric. That was the pivot. That was the rebranding of slavery. It went from the physical whip to the mental whip, to the spiritual whip. It wasn't just that leather-bound whip anymore. It was, we're whipping your fucking brain. We're whipping your fucking spirit. We are breaking you in other ways, because breaking your body is no longer convenient, because that just looks bad. That was the pivot. The same hands that signed whipping orders also curated the image of clean houses, polite speech, Christian instruction, and sexual standards. This wasn't a contradiction, it was an infrastructure. See, they wouldn't whip you themselves. They would just sign an order for the overseer to whip you. Sexual control was central, not incidental. Slavery required reproduction, hierarchy, and denial at all times. Why y'all think they deny it still today? The Holocaust isn't the only thing that they deny. They deny anything that doesn't center them. White women were at the crossroads of all three: the reproduction, the hierarchy, and the denial. They did not just witness the sexual violence, they regulated it. They decided which enslaved women were breeding stock, which were temptations for their husbands, which children were acknowledged, which were sold away before they could ask questions. Respectability became the alibi that allowed sexual terror to function without scandal. White women did not have to commit every assault. They controlled the boundaries of silence that made assault survivable for the system. Purity was a weapon. White womanhood was defined as fragile, sacred, and in constant need of protection. This is why Black women had to be the opposite. Okay? Because laws were made to protect white women and white womanhood. So a lot of things went down in the name of white womanhood, like lynching. A third of the people that were lynched off of false accusations from white women. A third. The name of the book is Both Sides of the Whip. You can get it on my page. I'm reading a book. Okay? So you had to constantly protect white women, because how are you going to justify all of this cruelty if it's not in protection of white women? Because Black women were classified as women. We were technically not classified as women. The word. So the definition did something crucial. It turned Black existence into a permanent threat. Book could be read as a threat. Every accusation required no evidence. Every punishment could be called prevention. And because white women were positioned as the moral center of society, their fear, real or performed, carried legal, social, and lethal weight. This is how sexual control scaled. Not through desire alone, but through storytelling power. The unspoken contract. This is what y'all need to understand. What's going on right now, and why there's so much shock and pearl clutching with the deaths of these white people, especially that white woman. Oh my God, they killed a white woman. They killed Renee Good. They killed a white woman. There was an unspoken agreement embedded in the system. White men exercised force and white women gave it cover. Because as long as they could say, this black person is threatening my white wife or my white whatever, then nobody questioned anything. No one questioned anything. As long as it came from a white woman, there were no questions. She was immediately believed. Nobody asked for no details. Get a rope. It's just click the, it's not in the showcase. It's not in the showcase. It's right there in the stand store. So hold on. In exchange for this agreement of consistent protection, yeah, they made laws to cover her specifically. Remember the Casual Killing? I will never let y'all forget the Casual Killing Act of 1669. White women were literally killing black women and mixed race children so much they had to create a law to make it so that she could do it without accountability. Yes, remember the bird watcher in the park? Her name is in the book. I cited that in the book. So hold on. So their safety was prioritized. Their reputations were guarded, and their authority inside the household was unquestioned. That was not equality. It was collusion structured as protection. Why this transition matters. If you only tell the story of white women as bystanders, you miss the mechanism. They were not just adjacent to power, they were its refining filters. They made domination look like decency. They made coercion look like care. They made sexual control look like morality. And once morality gets involved, violence no longer has to explain itself. So, how white women policed sexuality, how virtue became racialized, how black bodies were disciplined, not just for labor, but for existence. This is where the bedroom becomes a courtroom, where respectability becomes surveillance, where sexual control replaces the whip and lasts much longer. Because the most enduring systems are the ones that teach people to police themselves. Think about how it is we police ourselves for them. Think about how we police ourselves to benefit white people. Let's just use some examples. Code switching. Hi. Code switching could be construed as us protecting them. Because, you know, they're always surveilling us. So when we start talking in ways that they don't recognize, if we're using slang and AAVE and all that, they feel uncomfortable. They immediately begin to feel uncomfortable. And then they make it seem like we're talking in code to keep something from them. So unless we act like them, which then puts our health in jeopardy because we are literally faking it. You literally can't even be comfortable in your own skin. That's how we are protecting them from us being overly black or being too, just like this white girl on TikTok is telling us what unk means. Unk doesn't mean what you think it means. It means uncool. Who the fuck? And what I said in the comments was, because he was like, Wyatt, tell them the definition of unk. I said, how the fuck is this white girl gonna tell black people what a word means to us? The fuck? Yeah, they're telling us what unk means. Unk means uncool. Wouldn't that be considered rebranding? Wouldn't that be considered rebranding? When they take somebody's recipe and they take all the fucking seasonings out and then present it again with their name on it, ain't that rebranding? White women do it all the time on this app. That's not what unk means. Unk means what we all agree what unk means. We all know what unk means. The problem is when black people say something or when we speak in our vernacular, remember how they tried to make Ebonics a bad thing? Oh, you're just speaking Ebonics. Everything that we do that they have no understanding of, they are going to make it a negative thing. And when they make it a negative thing, we become ashamed of doing what comes naturally to us. Us and speaking AAVE vernacular, that's our shit. Fuck them. They feel uncomfortable because they don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So they try to make us feel like we're speaking in a language that's beneath them. No, it's our shit. You're not meant to fucking understand it, and we're not going to stop what the fuck we're doing to explain to you what the fuck it means. We're speaking in this way so we don't have to interact with you. You always up in the goddamn Kool-Aid. Don't know the flavor. Just, what is this? And the only reason you fucking asking is so you can take it and fucking rebrand it. Your ass will probably call it Warm-Aid. Room temperature aid. It will no longer be cool. Leave us the fuck alone. But here's the problem, Jay. They have been programmed to surveil. So what is their nature today is actually programming. Climate adjusted. It's climate adjusted aid. We don't really like calling it cool because it's not cool. Yeah, look at how many times, hey Fucha, look at how many times y'all done come on this app and they done change people's shit to something else. They out here selling wife beaters for $80 because Kylie Jenner called it something other than a motherfucking wife beater that you can get 5 for $15 at the Walmart. It's no longer a wife beater. It's a classic tee. They done took Mexicans people water, changed the name completely. They done took the agua fresca and called it spa water. I can't even make this shit up. Hey, Miss Jada, I can't even make this shit up. They took the agua fresca and named it spa water. They don't have a motherfucking original idea at all. And even during slavery, none of what they did during slavery was original, because this is all the shit that was happening to them in Europe. Everything that they brought, everything that they did during slavery was what had already been done to them. Because what y'all don't seem to understand is the people that came into this country were literally the dregs of humanity. So when old boy Orange Cheeto gets up there and says they're not sending their best people, he's talking about the colonizers. The colonizers didn't send anything close to their best people. They sent their worst people. That's who built this country. You have criminals, the dregs of humanity, the peasants, the people that had absolutely no hope, no way of moving up in the world, no way of making money. In the dregs of humanity, they put a bunch of criminals on boats and say good luck. That's who started this country. They weren't the good members of society and all this other shit, as if they had any good members of society. Europe had been at war for centuries with itself. With itself. So they came over here with violence in their bodies from day one. They represent nothing but violence. And I've said this to y'all over and over and over again. The only thing that they are good at is violence, because that is literally what they are. They don't have a moral conscience because they don't think that anything that they do is wrong. They're sociopaths. And that comes from centuries of everything that you've experienced here in this country was already done to them for centuries. The public executions, the torture, the being a peasant and just being low to the ground. Just everything that they did to us had already been done to them. So again, no originality. And until you understand that, you're going to just think that these people are crazy for no reason. They're crazy because they were made crazy. I'm not excusing it. Okay? Because you can come back from that just like we can come back from their bullshit. Yeah, the guillotine and all that. They were drawing and quartering people was a regular thing. They were putting people on a thing and tying horses to their arms and their legs and slapping their butts and splitting them. And then they would send their body parts to different parts of the country to warn people not to rise up. That's the same shit they were doing in slavery. Buck breaking was sexual domination to break you. That's in the book. This is another part of slavery they gloss over. They never talk about it. But they were doing it to men, women, and children. No one was safe from their sexual terror. Nobody. Not even your kids. Your kids were the most vulnerable. I saw a few videos today. Tap the screen and share the live. I've seen a few videos today. And most of the time when I see these no contact videos, it's usually Black people. People that say they'll never talk to their parents again and this, that, and the other. Come, let me lean in as I tell you this. Okay. Black people have a very unrealistic expectation of what their parents should be. So a lot of times you grow up with this fantasy that you've seen on TV, whether it was Leave It to Beaver or it was the Cosbys. You have a very unrealistic expectation of your parents and your parents' maturity and the fact that your parents don't do what you expect them to do and da 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 da. So your answer, instead of trying to delve into the history of your parents, you would much rather go no contact, which to me says more about you than it does about the parents. I can guarantee y'all, most of y'all sitting here don't know shit about your parents. You don't know shit about how they grew up, because the grandparents that you have, grandparents are always nicer to the grandkids than they were to their own kids. So you see this grandma and you're like, grandma's so sweet. Grandma was an asshole. I did not get grace for my mom until I spent more time with my grandma as an adult. My grandma was an asshole. In most cases, your parents were children having children. You and your parents were growing up together. And it is scientifically proven that your very first traumatic experience is where your trauma begins. It is where your growth is stunted. So if you do not actively try to work through that shit, you're going to stay 14. My brother is 14 at 47. My brother is 14. My brother has been 14 since he was 14. And he is 47. Until you work through this shit, you are going to go no contact, because you are being triggered by your parent because you had all of these expectations of your parent. Now let's go back into our history. When did Black women have an opportunity to be a mother? And then when she was given the opportunity to be a mother, it had moved past slavery and it was now in the Reconstruction era, where we were really scammed into the sharecropping. Sharecropping is one of the biggest scams ever placed on Black people, because they freed you and then they brought you had to go right back to that same plantation, and now they're supposed to be paying you, but in all actuality they're only paying you like $100 a year to bale 300 pounds on a regular of cotton. And now, to help you fulfill your quantity requirement, you got to pull your kids out of school and help. They have to be in the field with you. Where's your daddy? Probably swinging from a tree. Because someone has accused him of looking at a white woman wrong. So now he's hanging from a tree. So now this mom has 7, 8 kids to feed. Her only income is baling cotton, and she's got to have the kids that can actually walk be out in the field with her from sun up to sundown, picking cotton just to eat. And then They were still giving them rations every week of food. They did not earn any money except once a year. They were still giving them pigs and corn mush and all that same shit. They were dehydrated. They were living on rations, which means most cases they were starved. Cortisol is through the roof. Blood pressure is through the roof. Nobody ever talks about the sharecropping, about the Reconstruction era. It's in the book. So then here come the 30s and the 40s, right? Our men are gone off to war. Black women are working in the factories. Black women are working to make military equipment in the factories. The black man was gone off to war, World War I, World War II, where they were getting disrespected every day. And then when they came back, they weren't allowed to get any of those veterans loans or anything to better their lives. They done fought for this country and they gave them nothing. White men came home to VA loans and FHA loans. So they could move and have white flight and move out to the suburbs and all that. And the niggas got nothing but disrespect. But then you want to blame your parents for not being Leave It to Beaver. The first thing I believe that black people need to do is to give ourselves some fucking grace. We are harder on ourselves than we are on anybody. It wasn't that long ago, and we're still going through the same bullshit again. It's just rebranded. None of this shit has ever ended for us. We are still living through all of the same bullshit. The GI Bill, they didn't give us none of that. Welfare was created back then. Welfare was created for the worthy white mom. Black women did not receive welfare until the 60s after the civil rights movement. But for 30 years, white women got welfare. Only white women. But then, the minute we were included, it went from a helpful program to welfare fraud. We're frauds. Then we became the face of welfare, when still to this day, we are not the face of welfare. Section 8 was created for white women. Welfare was created for white women. White women whose husbands had gone off to war. And we're still dealing with this bullshit today. We couldn't vote. And then when they allowed black men to vote, they allowed black men to vote, but they had to pay a poll tax. You had to pay to vote. So again, they put these things into play, and then they put a price tag on it because they know black people won't be able to afford to do it. This is how, after slavery ended, how they created the 13th Amendment. And the 13th Amendment says that slavery has ended except if you are a criminal. So in order to criminalize everybody, they made the slave codes. So vagrancy, loitering, Walking too slow. Walking too slow could get you thrown in jail. I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. You can get thrown in jail. And now here's the catch. Your former slave owner can come and bail you out of jail and put your ass right back on the same plantation that was freed. And you have to work until you can pay off what he paid for your bail. So you were free, but you couldn't find, here's another one. You couldn't find a job. And because you don't have a job, you get sent to jail. Your former slave owner can come and bail you out for $100. Mind you, we did the math. What $50 back then was $1,000 today. So your bail was $100, which is $2,000 today. What Black person even today is walking around with an extra $2,000 in their bank account? To this day, they still do. You staying in jail till you pay that bail. Right? The system is not rigged. The system is created just the way it's created. It was created to do exactly what it's doing. And that was to re-enslave us. To have a permanent underclass. To have a permanent class of people that is just free labor. It all boils down to cheap labor. Hi. Your grandfather was locked up in Texas after coming back from World War II for asking where is a place for fun. Yeah, so every time y'all say, oh, the system is rigged, and no, the system is doing exactly what they designed it to do. Ain't that what rigged means? I mean, it could be, I guess. But to me, I feel like rigging comes after the system is created. You found a way to skirt the system. You found a way. I'm telling you, the way I'm defining it is they made it this way. There was no rigging that had to happen. It was designed this way. That's what I'm saying. I hope you see the distinction. Yes, it was. Nobody was like, oh, let me find this little loophole and then we can do. No loopholes were necessary. Everything that y'all are experiencing and that we are experiencing is all by design. No rock was left unturned. They are literally thinking while we are asleep. No rigging was required. Yes, they are the architects of this whole system. We just live in it. And the reason we stay losing is because we don't realize that. We still are holding out hope that they got it wrong, or, these laws are going to protect me. These laws were not written for us. How is the law going to protect you when they weren't even written for you? You were not even considered, because you were not even considered human. They don't make laws to govern animals. That's what they considered us to be. So how are they writing laws for animals? Sapiosexual, you are on a whole other topic. We're not even stay focused. So, because the most enduring systems are the ones that teach people to police themselves. I know a bot when I see a bot. So, hold on. And white womanhood was the lesson plan. Sexual terror, purity myths, and racialized desire. How the body became the battlefield when the whip got expensive. Slavery didn't just need labor, it needed control over desire. Because you can shackle hands, but if people still own their bodies, their pleasure, their reproduction, their meaning, the system leaks power. I don't want that job. I used to want to be in politics, but I don't want that job. First of all, I'm not going to be polite. Secondly, I'm going in there with the interests of Black people top of mind. I don't give a fuck about none of this other shit. I do not. I do not give a fuck about anything except us. Period. Don't ask me. Don't ask me about no other race of people but my people. That's it. He said that's what we want. Then Mama Trey for Senate. God damn it. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm rooting for everybody Black. I'm rooting for everybody Black. So if y'all got a problem with that. Well, Mama Trey, we're all Americans. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. We're not. You're an immigrant. You're a colonizer. We are not the same. We're all Americans. No, you're a European. We're American. So the plantation perfected a second weapon, sexual governance. What they did to Black women, men, and children. They did not only steal labor, they stole bodily autonomy. They built an entire society where white power could reach into your marriage, your bed, your children's bodies, and your right to say no, and then called it law, custom, and order. In the years 1808 to 1865, when the domestic slave trade expanded and the plantation system hardened, sexual violence wasn't an accident of slavery. It was one of slavery's tools. Just click on, go to my page. That's where it is. Sexual violence wasn't just happenstance. It was a tool used to terrorize us. That little pink thing. That little pink thing was used as a weapon. Black women, they made our bodies a battlefield. They targeted Black women because slavery gave them access without accountability. And what that means is anybody was allowed to rape a Black woman. Anybody. The master, the overseer, their friends for entertainment, anybody was allowed to. Because why? We were not protected simply because they didn't classify us as women legally. They did not classify us as women. Women were protected by law. So how did they get around that? They never said we were women. They literally labeled us as breeding stock, like you would animals. I'm not making this shit up. I'm not making it up. Then you would have certain death, ma'am. So imagine living your life. Listen, y'all always talk about what y'all wouldn't do as a slave. Y'all get up and go to a fucking job you hate every day with them white motherfuckers. Y'all always talking about what y'all wouldn't do on a fucking plantation. You are literally risking your life. You won't even risk getting fucking fired. The same motherfuckers that be talking about, not me, couldn't be me. Your ass is going to a motherfucking job right now because you need your job. You probably getting sexually harassed on your job right now. But you need your job. So I don't want to hear that what you would do on a plantation. Because you want a plantation right now and your ass is not willing to get fired. What the fuck you think working for them is if it's not a motherfucking plantation? It's a plantation rebranded. They're going to pay you the minimum amount of money they can get away with fucking paying you. I'm saying I don't give a fuck if you working or getting a goddamn welfare check. The point is, stop acting like you would have done something different. Somebody threatening to take your kid away and you never get to see them ever again unless you sleep with me. You gonna do it. And you, as Black women, we were under that threat every day, 24 hours a day. We lived under that threat. Well, you can say what you want to say, but I don't believe you. I don't. Any motherfucker that comes up here and says what they would have done on a plantation, you're lying. Because you don't know what the fuck you would do. You don't know. Because you've never been in that situation. So, hold on. They could harass us, coerce, assault, impregnate, and then deny it was a crime. They could do anything they want. No, it's just on my page. Somebody please tell him where to find it. Okay? It's on my page. I have to talk in code. How to get there is you click my name right here at the top, and when my face pops up, boop, hit my face. It will take you off the live and to my page, and then you click that. Hold on. So they use sexual violence as domination and profit because the same system that denied a woman's consent also turned her reproduction into increase. Harriet Jacobs told the truth that slavery tried to keep buried. The secrets of slavery were concealed, and sexual assault was among those secrets, woven into daily life and enforced by threats. Don't you see a LINK there on my page? And if a woman resisted, they didn't have to stop. They only had to escalate, threaten her family, punish her body, or sell away the people that she loved. You married on a plantation, which a lot of people were. contrary to popular belief. He wants to sleep with you today. He's going to threaten to sell your husband. What you going to do? This is how sexual violence became a system of governance, not merely individual cruelty. Black men. Hello, black men. There was no, let me clarify the married thing. There was no legal recognition of black people being married back then. But what did they do? Put it in the comments. What did our people do as a community? What did they do? It's still a tradition today. What did they do? It's still a tradition today. Jump the broom. They jumped the broom. That's where it came from. So they didn't need the law to say that they were married. That's a European thing. And y'all get caught up in that shit all the time. Y'all get caught up in that European shit all the time. And all that is a legal contract that now you are legally bound to this person. And you can't just freely leave this shit. You got to use a lawyer to get disentangled from a motherfucker. And now they've made it even harder for you to leave marriage. But if your ass is jumping a fucking broom, who you got to prove anything to? Other than the community that has witnessed y'all are together and ain't nobody gonna disrespect your union. But y'all bought into European shit. Y'all bought into that Eurocentric bullshit. And then you got a motherfucker standing up there holding the Bible, and there are no marriage vows in the Bible. They stand up there holding the Bible, and there are no marriage vows in the Bible. Marriage is a whole European made up thing. Black men, where you at? Black men, they use sexualized domination to break you. They did it to black men too. They assaulted enslaved men and boys and then forced silence through shame and fear. Calling it homoeroticism can romanticize what was often coercion. Under slavery, white men and sometimes white women could use sexual violation as punishment, humiliation, and control. Another way to announce that your body was not your own. This history is quieter in the archive, not because it was rare, but because slavery made disclosure dangerous, and later stigma made it hard to say out loud. No man wants to admit that he was raped, right? But you have an entire prison system that mimics life on a plantation. They know that, and they foster that environment. They foster that. Nobody wants to talk about that, though. Oh, no, not me, dog. Yes, you, dog. We know. We know. Don't be ashamed because that's the system they set up. But again, this is the shame that lives in the body. And shame is one of the things that will fucking make you sick. We have to stop being embarrassed and shamed into fucking silence. The shit happened. It happened. Okay? There's nothing you could have done to prevent it from fucking happening. And don't sit up here and say, "Oh, I'm willing to die." No, the fuck you not. When you're in that fucking moment, you are not willing to die. You are going to do whatever the fuck you were coerced into doing. You're going to do it. So stop being ashamed of some shit that happened to you. It was not your fault. You did not ask for it. It did not matter. You weren't wearing a short skirt. You weren't drunk. This is how they keep a whole group of people down. We just feel ashamed of the things that were thrust upon us by some goddamn monsters. We were the victims. And then how they gaslight you and say, "Oh, you're always a victim." You mean the same way that they keep talking about this goddamn Epstein shit every day on this fucking, they're not victims? Y'all can wholly see how the Epstein people are victims, but you can't see how Black people were victims? You have all the empathy in the world for the kids that were on the island, but you have no empathy at all for what we went through for 500 fucking years. Oh, just get over it. Just get over it. It really wasn't that bad. These are all gaslighting terms, and they're all in the book. That was so long ago. So, scholars have had to piece it together from fragments, survivor testimony, and careful rereading of what people could safely tell. Children. They destroyed childhood and called it property. They did not treat our children as children. You see it today. You see it today. And not only do you see it today, you fucking perpetuate it. Let me tell you one of the biggest motherfucking pet peeves I have in the world. It's when a motherfucking Black parent calls their kid little man or little mama. Y'all perpetuate the bullshit. And then you wonder why they don't treat our children like children, why they're sexualizing our kids at 5, why our kids at 10 are considered 18. They just look grown. And then they put these labels on them saying that they're fast and they're aggressive. The little girls are considered fast, and you co-sign that shit. She just fast. She fast before fast at what? She ain't doing nothing but mimicking your ass. She ain't doing nothing but mimicking you. Kids don't do what they're told. They do what they see. Hey, little mama. Little mama? She's 5. Hey, little man. He's 5. Why the fuck are you calling him a man? Because y'all get so caught up in the fact that white people was calling grown black men boys that you don't want to call your own son a boy. Because they have made you believe that you calling your own son a boy is racist. So we don't call our kids gal or girl. We don't do it. Because that's what white people do to us. Boy is disrespectful. Right? They did not treat our children as children. They treated them as inventory. In the domestic slave trade era, families were separated as normal business practice. So when y'all come to me like, oh, they're separating the family, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what Hispanics are going through. I don't care what any of them are. I don't care. I can't care. I cannot. I can't. I don't have the bandwidth. Because y'all sitting around just shocked as shit. And this is a day in the life for us. Families were separated as normal business practice. People were forced to leave parents, spouses, siblings, and children behind. That forced separation amplified vulnerability and made abuse easier to hide because the system could isolate victims and erase witnesses. So you got separated from your 5-year-old son. What the fuck do you think they're going to do to him? Knowing then, what the fuck you think's going to happen to your 5-year-old child? Knowing the nature of those people. They targeted girls early, and mothers knew it. Knew that what was done to them could be done again to their daughters. That intergenerational terror is stated plainly in the Hidden Voices exhibit. Enslaved mothers with daughters understood that sexual violence could repeat itself across generations, and did. So you as a mother, you as a woman, a black woman, is forced to breed for them. You know that they are going to take your daughter and do to her exactly what they're doing to you and what they have done to you. How do you feel as a mother? A helpless, in motherfucking chains, can't do nothing mother. Boys were not protected by innocence either. In a system that denied Black people bodily autonomy, childhood did not guarantee safety, only vulnerability. White women, what they did and what they allowed. White women were not only spectators, some enforced the household order that made exploitation possible. Some weaponized accusation in a society that would punish Black bodies to protect white status. And some initiated cross-racial intimacy with enslaved men still inside captivity, still inside imbalance, still inside the cage. Racial intimacy with enslaved men. Just look at this power dynamic. How is he going to say no? How is he going to say no? These unwashed, unseasoned, unmoisturized women forcing our men to pleasure them. Blech. I cannot imagine the smell. The same people that believe that taking a bath spreads diseases is forcing men to sleep with her. They made it dangerous to speak while it was happening and difficult to speak after it ended. That is why survivors sometimes used coded language and partial descriptions or silence altogether. A strong primary source anchor for that reality is the National Humanities Center's curated packet of excerpts from slave narratives describing sexual abuse by slaveholders, overseers, and others empowered by the system. Thank you, Miss Tina. The body can carry trauma. The body can carry trauma forward through stress physiology, pregnancy pathways, and the family can carry it forward through learned survival strategies, especially when society keeps reproducing the same threats. Every generation, Black women were still going through the same shit. Every generation. 1900s, 1920s, 1940s, 1960s, 1980s, we were still going through this. White men still to this day want to do to us what they were able to do then. They are still fucking obsessed with us. And that is also the root of the white woman jealousy. They didn't only hurt us in the moment, they trained our bodies to live in danger. They turned sex into a weapon, pregnancy into a trap, and family into leverage. How do they do that today? How do they do it today? How do they keep you tethered to your job? Marriage, children, debt. You ain't going nowhere because you need your job. You ain't going nowhere because you need your job. I experienced that firsthand. Not just once and not just twice. I needed a job. So I had to put up with a bunch of sexual harassment and assault. Because why? I got a kid to feed. How many women to this day? Look at what they're doing to the women with ICE. They're literally, you want to see your kids? You got to fuck me. I'm not letting you see your kids unless you give me head. Y'all don't think that shit's happening right now? It is happening. It's happening right now. The same tactics that were used on the plantation are the exact same tactics they're using today. Nothing has changed. It's just been rebranded. My statements are just emotional and, oh, I'm sorry. Your statements are just emotional in nature with little factual basis. Well, everything in this book has receipts. And y'all hate motherfucking receipts. So shut the fuck up. Ain't nothing in here written off of no goddamn emotion. Nothing. I have ledgers and journals and fucking motherfucking receipts. I had to put 2 fucks in that. 2 whole fucks. A fuck and a motherfuck. I'm just spreading hatred. No, that's your job. That's what y'all have done. I'm just exposing it. And you mad. Because all you want is for us to be quiet about what it is you do. All you want is for us to stay in the dark with your little nasty, funky ass secrets. And bitch, that time is past. So I don't give a fuck if you think the truth is hatred or not. You can't beat me. What you gonna do? Fight me? You can't beat me. So now what? None of that little gaslighting, guilty shit that y'all be pulling on regular niggas, that shit don't work on me. So what you want to do about it? You want to fight about it? Because I don't have a problem with that at all. Trust me. You're just spreading hatred. You're dividing us, bitch. We was never together. Don't come over here with that bullshit. So back to the white woman expose. Let's air these bitches shit all the way out. We'll air all your shit out today. So it echoes through sleep, through anxiety, through guarded love, through stress carried into pregnancy, through children raised to be alert instead of at ease. All of this shit is passed on from generation to fucking generation. You're spouting nonsense for an hour of attention. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. You on my live. So obviously you want to be centered. That's what you're mad about. I'm centering your dumb ass right now, bitch. You are the fucking topic. You're the fucking hot topic. Y'all want to be centered so bad. And then the moment that you're centered, you got a problem. Why do you want people to hate people? Y'all created racism and then get mad. But we don't want to participate in your reindeer games anymore. Y'all are mad that we don't want to participate in your fucking reindeer games. We're not going to play your games anymore. And that's what it is. We airing all this shit out. Period. So let's see how many people, girl, go somewhere with your silliness. Please stay in your white bubble. Please stay in your white only bubble. The delusion of white people is amazing. Just delusional. They expect that throughout history, they can get away with doing all the dirt that they have done, and we are just supposed to respect them, love them, not have any animosity or resentment towards them. And then when we do have it, they want to say that we're jealous of them. Can you please just list one thing that any Black woman would be jealous of that a white woman has? Please, in the comments. I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to wait for you to go ahead. List it. List it. anything? White women are so worthless that they had to create a persona for you. There is nothing you bring to any table. Nothing. Your own men don't even want you. That's why you have all this hatred today for black women. Because your man would get up out the bed and he would rather go down to the goddamn slave shack and fuck us rather than fuck you. And you doing everything in your power to stay as youthful as possible because you know they're only attracted to young things. And you have aged the fuck out of that. At 28, your ass is looking like you 48. And your ass has aged out of any type of attraction these motherfuckers have to you. They would much rather have a 14 or 15-year-old. And here you are, 37. You're going to trade your ass right on in. And that's your biggest fear. Being afraid of aging all comes from what you already know about your man. You know that your man likes young, fresh things. And you are not even close to young nor fresh. And when the domestic slave trade kept breaking families apart, it multiplied the grief and the fear across whole communities, making trauma not just personal, but inherited through the way we had to survive. We are still living in survival mode simply because nothing has changed for us. It's just been rebranded. That's why all of this shit feels familiar, because we've already been through it and it still lives in our nervous systems. None of this shit that we're experiencing, none of this shit that we are seeing is new. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Right? The purity myth was not about sex, it was about permission. White purity was never a description, it was a license to accuse without proof, a license to punish without trial, a license to kill without consequence. Once white womanhood was defined as sacred, everything around it became suspect by default. You want to know how Karens were created? This is how Karens were created. They created Karens. Karens are surveillance. They're not being nosy because they're curious. They're being nosy because they have been appointed to surveil you. That comes directly from the plantation. Hey, what are you guys doing? What are you guys up to? It is in their epigenetics to surveil us. We are their business. They are incapable of minding their business because in their mind, we are their business. What else does a white woman have going on? What the fuck else does a fucking pill popping, wine swigging white woman from the suburbs have going on? Besides stealing from fucking Target. What else? Once white womanhood was defined as sacred, everything around it became suspect by default. Black men didn't have to do anything. Black women didn't have to consent to anything. The accusation itself was the verdict. This is how purity became a weapon, not by preventing sex, but by deciding whose sexuality counted as crime. The Jezebel Brute algorithm. Go get the book. It's on my page. Go get the book. 350 pages of information you need to have. If nothing wakes you up, this shit is going to wake you the fuck up. It is going to explain everything that you are witnessing right now. Everything that you're witnessing right now has a history. It has a past. We have been lied to, bamboozled, led astray. And so the only way we can reclaim our bodies and reclaim our time and our energy and our joy is to understand what we've gone through, what we have survived. Because as it stands today, Black people are really coming off as real weak right now. We coming off as real weak right now. I'm not saying this because we have reallocated and we have decided we're not putting our bodies in the fight anymore. I'm saying even before this, we were coming off as real complacent. I think this is going to change a lot for a lot of people. The Jezebel Brute algorithm, designed once, used forever. The system ran on a paired myth. Black women were hypersexual and unrapeable. How are we unrapeable? Because there are no laws to protect us from being raped. We're just fair game for everybody. So they slapped this label on us telling the world Black women are hypersexual, they're easy, they want it all the time. They're down to fuck. And it wasn't just them that were telling the world. You had reputable associations creating these lies and spreading these lies for decades about the pathology of Black people. They labeled Black women as hypersexual in the science books, in the medical books, and to this day, they still think of us that way. To this day, even though the American Psychology Association apologized for creating and spreading the lies. They said Black men were predatory and uncontrollable. So here you are as a white person walking around during that time thinking all Black men are uncontrollable, predatory. They're just waiting to pounce on a good white woman. They're just waiting to pull Miss Sally into the bushes. And on the flip side of that, you see a Black woman and you just know she's hot and ready, like a motherfucking Little Caesars pizza. So you're thinking, I got 15 minutes. Let me go on over here and rape her. You want to know where your entitlement came from? the lack of accountability passed down from generation to generation. So the pairing did three things simultaneously. It erased Black women's consent, it criminalized Black men's existence, and it protected white men from accountability. Rape could not exist if the victims were defined as incapable of violation. They made it so that nothing you do is considered rape when it comes to a Black woman. She has no power to consent to anything. She has no power to dissent or consent to anything. You can just do whatever you want to do, like animals. This is both sides of the whip. It is. All of it's about control. All of it. So, violence could always be justified if the accused was pre-labeled as dangerous. That's why they put those labels on us. So they would always come off as protecting Miss Sally from an uncontrollable Black man. And then what they did to Black women was they made us the temptress. Like this white man could not possibly control himself because this Black woman is such a temptress. She's tempting him. Like we wanted to have sex with people that smell like bologna. You think they don't wash their asses today? What the fuck do you think they was doing then? I have to. So violence could always be justified if the accused was pre-labeled as dangerous. That wasn't ignorance. That was engineering. Desire had to be managed, not eliminated. Here's the part of history books skip. White men never stopped desiring Black women to this day. The system just needed a way to indulge desire without consequence. So white women became the managers of contradiction. They enforced purity in public while tolerating or even administering sexual access in private. Because guess what? He's going to get that lady pregnant and they're going to have another baby to sell. She was just thinking about the money. Every woman that she allowed her husband to grape is going to produce another product for her to sell. Mistress punished enslaved women not for being assaulted, but for making the system visible. So then you punish the woman for getting pregnant by your man because now she's walking around with this biracial baby and now everybody sees that massa been diddling the slaves. So they are a master of contradictions because in public, you're trying to act like you're all good and goody two shoes and this, that, and the other, while you are allowing and even arranging for your husband to go and impregnate this woman to produce another product for you. But then you also, on the flip side, mad that you've created this product. So then what did they do? Kill them. Kill the mom, kill the babies. And so what did they do to keep the white women from going to jail? Created the Casual Killing Act of 1669. Yeah, in the meantime, they out there diddling George. Yeah, let's not forget the alligator, babe. Let's not forget that. So jealousy wasn't personal, it was structural. It is natural for a white woman to be jealous of a black woman. It's nasty work. It is natural for them to be jealous of us. Please go lay down, Fat Daddy Juju. What are you doing? Come here, my love. Hi, boo boo. Hi, boo boo. Hi, boo boo. You okay? You're pushing mommy under the desk, you know. You want to say hi to everybody? You want to say hi to everybody? Why don't you go relax while Linka's somewhere minding his business? Better take advantage of that. I forgot my carrot juice. I don't know why you can't imagine it. Y'all give these white motherfuckers way too much fucking grace. The reason these motherfuckers can get away with shit is because you can't imagine it. When the facts are there, the facts are there. They literally were making postcards with alligators on them and babies at the end of like fishing poles and shit. Postcards. The reason they get away with it is because we cannot imagine it. Breeding was not a metaphor. Once importation slowed, reproduction became policy. Black women's bodies were logged, timed, valued, and punished for failing to produce. Fats, be quiet. Get out of the window. Hey!
Get out of the window now.
Pregnancy did not offer protection. It increased surveillance. A womb wasn't sacred. It was a balance sheet. And white women often kept the records. They literally would track our periods and all of that to know when we were fertile. Yes, I'm talking about life on the breeding farms. They would track our periods so they would know when we were ovulating. They would tell women it's time for you to stop nursing your baby. But they took those same women into their house to feed their kids. Black women were not allowed to nurse their own kids. They used them as wet nurses. But y'all the same people that hate us so much, but you want our black titties in their mouths? You want us saving them if they're lost? You want us raising? When did white kids get bad? All the shit that y'all see about these white kids, that shit wasn't happening when black women was raising them. When black women were the help. They weren't shooting up nothing. Were they? Let's go down to the black woman section. Oh, hold on. Why does all of this still work today? Why does all of this still work today? Well, first of all, what all of this did in the body. Okay. Biology does not lie. Chronic sexual threat rewires survival. The amygdala stays armed and ready. Cortisol never fully drops. And where does cortisol settle, my friends? Where does cortisol settle? The midsection and your hips. So the more stress, the bigger your belly and the bigger your hips. Pleasure became unsafe. So in our minds, we're connecting pleasure with violence. We're connecting intimacy with violence. And then you expect us to have normal sexual relationships with a man? When in your body is saying they're dangerous, even if they're black. Your body is still telling you this is dangerous. This is going to hurt me. So, desire triggers danger signals. And this is why intimacy can feel like a risk. Visibility can feel like exposure. Joy can feel undeserved. And that's not pathology, that is adaptation. Your body learned the rules correctly. And why this still works today is those myths never died. They just got a new language. Fast, aggressive, unprofessional. This is about black women. Threatening, unladylike, out of control. Same script. Different decade. Let's not forget masculine. Let's talk about that. Let's go to that section. The masculinization of black women. But first, white womanhood as an alibi, not a victim. White women were not merely protected by the lynching culture, they were positioned. Their presumed purity justified surveillance, excused violence, and erased white male desire from the equation. In many cases, no woman was ever accused at all. The mob did it for her. The mob did it for whatever a white woman wanted to say about you. There was always going to be some white mob burning shit to the ground. No matter what the fuck this bitch said. And that's why you can never trust them. Ever. It is in their nature to incite violence. It is in their nature, and they know that the police will kill you. It is in their nature to have them motherfuckers on speed dial. That's just the modern day lynch mob. You never know when this bitch is going to accuse you of some shit. And it's going to be your black word against her white word. And who the fuck do you think is going to win? Oh, well, not all of us. Yes, all of you bitches. All of you. All of you. Every last one of you have it in you to fucking lie. And that's why I said, if a white kid runs up on you and asks you for help because his mom told you to look for a black woman, it's a motherfucking trap, bitch, run. Because there's nothing to keep that kid from saying, she took me out of the yard. Then you standing there with the police looking like a fucking idiot. Oh, come on, Bobby. I'll help you find your mom. Fuck Bobby. Bobby found his way out the yard. Bobby can find his way back in the yard. Fuck him. Because the minute the police show up and that Bobby says you took him out of the yard, your ass is going to jail. I was just trying to get him back to fuck him and fuck his neglectful ass mama. Why white kids always getting lost? You mean to tell me that your kids get lost so much that you need to have a sit down with them. Here I am with the restraining. I'm harassing and bullying. Who the fuck am I harassing and bullying? Y'all act like I went to their live and poked them. This is my live. I can say whatever the fuck I want. How come they always getting lost? How? Because their mamas is high and drunk. I'm going to have to restart this live just because I don't want to lose this content. Some white woman was upset and she went and toed on me because I'm a big bad bully. Ah. I'll be right back. Give me 30 seconds. Be right back. Hi, YouTube. Pretty soon, we're going to have our own platform. Did you guys go and get the book? I don't know if the book is on. Let me see if it's showing in our YouTube shop. Hang on a minute. Let me see if it's showing in our YouTube shop. Our Life by Type books are there. Let me see. And my hidden cost. No, it's not showing up yet. Let me make sure I set that up tonight. But if you guys don't have the book, just go to ceorganics.com and get it. Okay? I'm about to restart this live because I'm not going to be on here much longer. I need to eat. My stomach's growling. My stomach is growling. I hungry. Hi. I bet ain't nobody gonna have a problem with me talking about black women. Let's get to that section. Now, mind you, there's so much more about them. So much more. Go get the book. Let me go down to the masculine. Oh, The Quiet Machinery. Slavery did not survive for centuries because it was always loud. It survived because it learned how to be quiet. The plantation did not primarily function as a battlefield. It served as a household. And once again, domination was rebranded as domestic order. Violence no longer needed chains in public. It could live indoors, behind curtains, inside ledgers, beneath the language of care. This is how slavery became durable. On the other side, how cruelty rewired white womanhood. Let's see if we can make it through this part. White supremacy didn't just give white women power, it gave them a role. And that role came with a psychological architecture so rigid it still shapes bodies, behaviors, and beliefs today. White womanhood under slavery was not innocent. It was a position built in contrast to Black women's disposability and maintained through daily participation in domination that had to be morally disguised to be survivable. This chapter is not about blame. It's about what constant control does to the controller. Because remember the question that I asked you guys, everybody is so understanding of the trauma that lives in Black people's bodies from what we endured being oppressed But my question was always, well, if we are experiencing this, what is the oppressor experiencing? How is it changing them? We know how it changes us. We know how it physically impacts our health and our bodies to this day. But what did it do to them? Please go lay down. So, the original contract, white women's legal identity in colonial America existed only because Black women were denied one. Their protections, marriage, inheritance, bodily sanctity, motherhood, were scaffolded on a system where Black women could be raped without legal recognition, bred without consent, sold away from their children, punished without recourse. This created a silent contract. Your safety is guaranteed. This is to white women. Your safety is guaranteed as long as Black women's safety is not. We were literally created to be opposite of one another. That's why we can never have any solidarity with them. They're never going to be your sister. They're never going to be your bestest buddy. They're never going to be that because they have been created to be the complete opposite of that to you. That kind of security does not relax the nervous system. It conditions it. Okay? So the silent contract was white men are going to protect white women as long as white women don't try to give protection to Black women. As long as white women gave white men access to Black women's bodies, they would be protected. This is why they're losing their fucking minds today and clutching their fucking pearls, because they killed a white woman in the middle of the street. That broke the contract. No one is safe. If white women aren't safe, no one's safe. That's why they're bugging out. They didn't care that we weren't safe because in their minds, they were always safe. They were always protected. But now the gloves are off. And he got away with it? No, I'm not reading Beloved. Shut up. Hold on. When safety depends on the hierarchy, equality is seen as a threat. This is why they were the ones to keep us from getting equal rights, even though they were out here like, yeah, we're going to be feminists. We're gonna be, yeah. Them bitches wasn't supporting that shit. They don't support it to this day. As much as they were talking, yeah, go Kamala. Them bitches didn't vote for Kamala Harris. They told us they were going to, and they went right in that fucking voting booth and voted against their interests yet again. But I can't even say they voted against their interests because their interest is giving cover to white men. Beauty as a moral distance. White femininity was defined not just by appearance, but by restraint. Pale skin became symbolic of purity, self-control, and moral superiority. Moral superiority. That's what. To who? Black women were cast as the opposite: excessive, uncontrollable, hypersexual by design. This wasn't aesthetic preference, it was identity engineering. When your sense of self depends on someone else being marked as too much, your body must stay vigilant to maintain that boundary. This is how what they have done and what they still continue to do today makes them crazy and makes them seek out wine in the middle of the fucking day and prescriptions written from their fucking doctors. Because their bodies know the truth. Their bodies know that they are not morally superior. They know that they're not superior in any way, shape, or form when in comparison to Black women. Not nary a category outside of thievery and stealing and just being downright nasty and unclean. If somebody got to talk you into washing your ass, you ain't morally superior to nobody. Don't even form your baloney lips to say moral superiority. Don't even form them. That vigilance doesn't ever turn off. It mutates into anxiety, comparison, and fragility. You want to know how they became fragile? From constantly trying to defend the hierarchy and trying to perpetuate the lie of superiority. Motherhood as race management. White women were elevated as reproducers of the nation, not just families. Their wombs were politicized. Has that changed today? Has that changed? They're literally pressuring white women. I just saw something today that said their birth rates are lower than they've ever been. Damn, I should have saved it. It said that their birth rate is at 50%. They're doing everything in their power to either coerce them or to blackmail or force them into having kids, because their numbers are dwindling. Yeah, Project Esther. Go look that up. So their wombs are politicized to preserve racial dominance, to stabilize demographics, and to justify surveillance of other women's bodies. When reproduction becomes a duty instead of a choice, the nervous system absorbs the pressure. Every day, and even today, fear-based rhetoric about replacement correlates with heightened stress responses, not empowerment. The body knows being used as a demographic shield. Who's laughing at women that can't give birth? Who's laughing? These women can give birth. They choose not to give birth. There's plenty of women right now that are choosing not to give birth because they don't want to be saddled with a family that is going to be blackmail for them. It is a trap. And the reason they don't want white women going to college is because she's going to learn that. She's going to learn that having a family is going to be a trap for her. I don't care if y'all can have kids or not. I don't care. So run tell that. Nobody is bullying people that are out here attempting to have children. But there are a lot of people that choose not to have children. Look around at this fucking world. Look around. Nobody can fucking afford to have kids. That's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that people can't even afford to feed themselves, let alone some goddamn kids. Do you know how much a fucking can of milk costs? Baby formula is $50, bitch. They don't give you no goddamn time off. You get no maternity leave at all. You got to have the baby and bring your ass back to work like they did on the plantation. You pop that baby out and your ass was back out in the motherfucking field, bitch. You ain't even have time to put on a goddamn pad. You're just a nigga too. That's the problem that y'all having. Y'all didn't have a problem when it was just us getting pressured to reproduce. You have a problem when it's you getting pressured to reproduce. You a nigga too. Nigga too. Nigga too. You a nigga too. You're a nigga too. Ooh. Miss Sally got to pump them babies out because the country is depending on you, Miss Sally. You got to do your civic duty and pop out some blonde-haired, blue-eyed babies. Or I should say blonde-haired, blue-eyed maniacs. Slavery required white women to witness violence without stopping it and to benefit from it without naming it. That produces a psychological pattern. Claim vulnerability, summon authority, receive protection, avoid accountability. Over time, the system rewards emotional escalation. Distress becomes currency. Calling for force becomes regulation. The body learns fear brings relief. That's not empowering, that's conditioning. Something physically happens in your body when you believe you have the power to call a mob. Just your word alone can get another person killed, and you don't even have to be the one that pulls the trigger. You can just be the person that caused the death, which you are. Every time y'all recklessly call the police because that gives you some sort of sense of power, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Feminism with a ceiling. Historically, white women's political gains often came through an alignment upward, not solidarity outward. Voting rights, workplace access, cultural leadership, too often secured while Black women were excluded, delayed, or dismissed. That pattern teaches equality means proximity to power, not dismantling it. So when liberation is conditional, it never fully settles in the body. Their liberation is conditional. They signed a contract. The contract says, we'll protect you as long as you don't make no fuss. We'll protect you as long as you turn a blind eye. We'll protect you as long as you manage the shit while we're out stringing people up the trees. What the body holds. We don't need exaggerated biology to tell the truth. What's well established is chronic moral conflict sustains stress activation. Suppression of guilt increases anxiety. Why are they drinking wine at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Why are they popping opioids, Valiums, and shit? Why are they moving into menopause earlier than Black women are? Avoidance keeps the body in a defensive state. As long as they continue to turn a blind eye to what is happening and what has happened to us all the way up to this point, always gaslighting us, all of that shit wreaks havoc on their bodies. That's also why they age. We age faster on the inside than they do, but they age faster on the outside than we do. And that's simply because of our melanin. Thank God for fucking melanin. Because if we did not have melanin, we literally would look like them. The only reason we don't age as fast as they do is because our skin, because of melanin, absorbs UV rays where theirs does not. So them aging faster than us is photo aging. It's from the sun. Their sun exposure is what's aging them faster than us. Oops. So, descendants of families who lived inside the system of domination often show higher rates of autoimmune disorders, mood dysregulation, compulsive control behavior, heightened reactivity to racial stress, not punishment, unresolved participation, style level fragility. I don't see color. Isn't neutrality, it's debt avoidance. When a white bitch tells you she don't see color, then that just simply means she's not recognizing, and she refuses to recognize what historically has been done to us and what is still happening to us today. They acknowledge the fuck out of them motherfuckers through the Holocaust, don't they? Even 9/11 survivors, right? Never forget. But for us, that was such a long time ago. Why are you still holding on to that? You're always pulling the race card. So when historical mirrors tilt towards truth, this is what y'all see every day that I talk about this shit on this live. This is what we're fucking dealing with. When they hear me speaking about their shit and telling the truth about their fucking history and who the fuck they are, their cortisol spikes. Their defensiveness rises. Censorship follows. Oh, your live visibility has been... It's not all of us. The victim narrative appears. Oh, she's bullying and harassing me. The distress isn't about the past. It's about the identity structure cracking. Me airing these bitches out every day on fucking live is causing them to have so much fucking distress. They're going to do whatever they can to stop me from saying it. I don't care. The bottom line, white womanhood under supremacy was constructed. Black women were born into matriarchal positions. Kings and queens were born through us and all those things. That is the complete opposite of white people. Kings and queens are not getting on a fucking boat and sailing across the ocean to live in a fucking tent in colonial America. White women are an afterthought. to be used for the benefit of white men, just to pump out white babies. And not all babies, white boys. White womanhood under supremacy was constructed as the negative image of black womanhood. Free because we were unfree. Pure because we were marked as impure. Safe because we were criminalized. That identity requires constant maintenance. And the body knows the math doesn't add up. Anxiety, fragility, control impulses, and denial are not moral failures. They're symptoms of a role built on contradiction. You can't stand on someone's throat for generations and expect your nervous system to believe you're innocent. I know, Fat Daddy. What are you doing? Go put that pillow back. Put it back on the couch. You better go put that pillow back on there. Go put that pillow on the couch. Oh, if you take my pillow downstairs, I'm gonna knock you out. Come here, Fats. Can mommy have the pillow? Give it to me. Thank you. No, he doesn't want to play. He wants to fuck it. He's not. He's 6. Do y'all think Fats wants this pillow for fun? He's going off because the randomly out of nowhere, our fucking fire detectors, smoke detectors will just go off and it drives him crazy. Yes, it's for adult sexy time. It is not for, he does not play with the pillows. He's having adult sexy time. I kid you not. We have to mop the floors all the time. He has his own pillows over there. This just ain't one of them. The sound is driving. Look at him. The sound is driving him crazy. He's fixing it, Fats. I know, Bubba. I know. I know. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. That's why I don't be, God, sit down. Da, da, da. He's doing what he's gonna do. That's what he does. Yes, it's the frequency. He doesn't want a treat. It's the noise. He can't handle the noise. And Linka is literally under the desk. What are you? Oh my gosh, what is happening? Oh my goodness gracious. Hi, bud. Why are you shaking like a little leaf? Why are you shaking like a little leaf? You okay? Jesus Christ. He is shaking. I know, Bubba. I know. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. He is literally shaking like a leaf. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So much havoc going on. Did y'all go get y'all book so I can go to bed? Linka is 8? He's 8. 9. Shit. Linka's 9. He's fixing it, Fats. We change the batteries. We do all of the shit. And I don't know, just randomly, the fucking smoke detectors will just go off. Random times of the day. Some days, nothing. Other days, you got it this morning? Fantastic. So hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. You said carbon monoxide is in the air? It could be. It could be. I need to go check my air purifier. Because that happened before, Harry. So anxiety, fragility, control impulses, and denial are not moral failures. They are symptoms of a role built on contradiction. You can't stand on someone's throat for generations and expect your nervous system to believe that you're innocent. So when power is inherited without repair, the body stays alert. Their bodies are going through the same shit our bodies are going through. Jordan, do we need to open the windows? Is it carbon?
No, that's not what it is.
Okay. It's not what it is. You said you're more on edge around white people. Me too. My aunt and I were talking about that today. She was like, because my aunt lives in a seniors community in Atlanta. And we were talking about how often she sees white people. And she said, it's been weeks since I've seen a white person. Lucky. I didn't tell y'all what happened when I went into the doctor's office the other day. As soon as I went into the doctor's office, I'm waiting behind this couple to sign in for my appointment. This white lady off to the right says to me, I really love your ensemble. Jordan, let Fats outside. Go outside, Fats, so I can finish up. Go outside. I really love your ensemble. I looked over and I just went, thanks. Turned around, looked at Jordan like. Then when we went and sat down, I said, do you see all that nervous energy she had? He was like, they do it every fucking time. Every time. So my aunt can go weeks without seeing white people. I can go weeks without seeing black people. We have the complete opposite situation. They make it awkward. Don't say anything. Just don't. You don't have to. It's just like they say stuff so that we can acknowledge their existence. What y'all don't seem to understand is they need our validation so bad. They need our validation so fucking bad. They want us to return the compliment. Oh, you too. I love your jelly. Yeah, you did. Nope. I'm not going to ask you where you got it from. Thanks. Back onto my day. So here's what's happening inside their bodies. When power is inherited without repair, the body stays alert. Avoidance doesn't calm, it tightens. So as much as they try to avoid hearing the truth, acknowledging the truth, it causes more stress in their bodies. Healing doesn't come from innocence. It comes from truth, responsibility, and relinquishing that role. Watch the big thing is going to happen. It's the batteries. These motherfuckers be eating up some goddamn batteries. So that's what's going on with them. That's their problem. Okay? The longer they refuse to acknowledge their role in white supremacy and relinquish that role, the more their body is going to suffer for it. Because again, the truth will set us all free. That's not a one-sided statement. That is for all of us. I know you think I'm a polarizing figure, but I'm literally trying to help your white ass too. The fuck? But because y'all just keep clinging to the last bastions of power you have, which is some white man's penis. That's as close as you're going to get to power. It's holding on to that ratchet ass man that's side-eyeing your daughter every fucking day. Instead of standing on your own two dirty feet, you would rather cling to his dirty deed. That's what it is. Just like that white woman came on this TikTok and said she didn't know how to take care of herself. She's 37 years old, been married for 10 years and don't know how to take care of herself. And she feels like a motherless child because her husband was like, I want a divorce. Her husband said, I want a divorce, and she did not know what to do. She don't know how to do nothing. So she came on TikTok and cried about it. Oh no. Oh. Do y'all honestly think a black woman can get away with coming on TikTok talking about her husband is divorcing her and she don't know how to take care of herself? White women, they didn't just exploit black women. They designed us under pressure. This is them, all of them, not just white women. They designed us under pressure. Our identity did not form in freedom. It formed in extraction. And yet, against every biological prediction, we became the architects of survival and the archivist of joy. Every strength, however, comes with a price. The body never forgets the cost. You're just a strong black woman. You guys are so strong. And we all know this is a backhanded ass compliment, right? Don't we all know that? You said, do you have interest in teaching higher education? This is the truth, and maybe teach more people on TikTok. Well, I'm actually going to have my own platform because you can't feel free in a rented place, right? You're going to be able to watch me on your Roku or your Fire TV in a couple of days from your TV. You don't have to be on here. I'm tired of getting fucked with. That's all. Then I won't have to talk in code. I don't have to monitor nothing. No, I'm not going over there either. I already have my stuff over there, but ain't nothing happening over there. Nothing. I want to be able to speak freely. Oh my gosh, I'm censored all the time. They just gave me a violation a minute ago. I gotta talk in code the whole time. Imagine when I don't have to talk in code. And it's just us in a safe space. Can't nobody report me on my own shit. Who you gonna call? gonna tell? Run tell that. Who you gonna tell? Yes, we do. And y'all can add your content to the channel too. I don't want nobody telling us we can't do whatever the fuck we want to do. So let me know if you're interested. If you're teaching something, let me know. So you can also be on the channel. It's the Black Legacy Network. We're just working on the back end stuff and adding the ads to the platform and all that. And that's that. Hit me up. Did you hit me up yesterday, Marie? There's so much shit we have and we know how to do. Why are we not sharing that shit with everybody? Why are we not sharing that? I may have to charge a little subscription, like $4.99 a month or something, but that's only to pay for the shit. I got to pay for it. Yes, it's the Black Legacy Network. You said you got a lot on your plate. We all got a lot on our plate. Yeah. But as long as you don't own your own shit, you have to play by the fucking rules. I don't begrudge anybody that's playing by the rules, but I'm going to find a way to manage my own shit. Like, I built my own social network back in 2008. I've already done all this. I was blogging back then. I had a podcast in 2010. I did all that. Isn't that owned by us? Apparently, yes. But there's nothing happening. Every time I go over there, there's nobody live. There's nobody. There's no new nothing. So maybe if all of y'all went over there and started doing stuff, then it would be inviting. I mean, I went on a live over there and not one person popped up on the screen. There's nothing happening. I was on the live for 5 minutes and not one single person. I've told my audience to meet me there. I'm not going to nobody else's house. Do you understand what I said? I'm not going to nobody else's fucking house. I would rather build my own house than to keep going to somebody else's. When you live in somebody else's house, you have to follow their fucking rules, right? I don't give a fuck if it's owned by us or not. There's still going to be some fucking rules and guidelines and structure, and I don't want none of it. I don't want to live in anybody else's house. Do y'all understand how much stress that puts on creators? Look at just like TikTok Shop. Do y'all know that they're making people send their products? They're trying to become the new Prime. Oh, you did? Wouldn't you rather build your own house in a black neighborhood? How much more of a black neighborhood would it be if I owned the house and the neighborhood? If I own the house and the neighborhood, what's the problem? I own the universe. It's mine. Black people are going to have to get out of this goddamn rental mindset. I said it is the Black Legacy Network. I did not say African American. I am Black. I am not African American. I am Black American. Why are you looking it up? It hasn't even launched yet, nosy butt. It hasn't even launched yet. I said in a couple of days. Nosy butt. You gon' trust me. We're working out the details right now. We just have a couple of little things to tighten up, and then, listen. You said thank you because you can't be from two continents. Exactly. You can. Here's how they've gotten over on us for centuries. They labeled us as landless people, right? They told us, yes, we need investors in black sheep. Black sheep is still not off the table, but I need to be free to advertise. That's opening us up to 300 million households, not just 152 people on TikTok. If I had to depend on TikTok, none of this shit would ever be known. I would have to talk to 150 people at a time, because look at how they suppress my shit. Look at how they suppress my shit. Y'all know goddamn well we should have at least 1,000 people on this live. Why don't we? They're also fucking up TikTok Shop. No longer will you be able to do your drop shipping. You got to send your products to a TikTok warehouse. They are trying to be direct competition with the big A and trying to have 2-day delivery service. So now you have to send my products, which are sitting in a warehouse already. Now they're telling us, everybody, not just us, that we have to take our shit, box it up, and send it to them. Yes, remember when we used to have 1,000 people, 800 and above on the live? 147 is great. 200, we had 250 yesterday. That is as high as it's been. They want it under U.S. control. I mean, our products are already in the U.S. They are trying to compete with Amazon. Yeah, if I was up here twerking or mood, you guys, I wanted a little snack, so I ordered 5 full dinners to eat. Mood, you guys? And can I get a Diet Pepsi? Can I get a Diet Coke? If you're shoveling a bunch of food in your mouth, you'll get the fucking views. You're going to have a heart attack, but you'll get the views. Tamika is growing out of that car. She's going to have to get in the car. Hey, y'all. She's going to have to get in the car. Yeah. You guys? I'll show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. I'll show y'all exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. And then, why is every other video is Epstein, someone selling you something, and alive with them selling you clothes or digital products? Every other video.
I used to post videos every single day.
And then ads for TikTok for you to buy views. Y'all are obsessed with this Epstein shit. Y'all are obsessed.
Sometimes it's not the words.
Hold on, I'm trying to find this nasty. Ooh, I hope I run across one of his videos. Hold on a minute. I don't ever like him, so that's probably why I'm not gonna see it in my little thing. Mood, you guys? I'm just having a little snack. You mean to tell me y'all ain't seen this guy? And they show him before he started doing these mukbangs on here, how thin he was, and now he's about 600 pounds. His name is Joe something or other. Hold on a minute. I just want y'all to see it. I can't show Jordy because he can't tolerate big people eating. He can't. That's it. That's it. That's his name. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hold on. Mm-hmm. This was him before.
I'm eating one of my fat meals, like when I used to be fat. So guys, this is what I used to do when I was fat. I ate it up. You eat 2 of these. Sometimes I would get 2 of these and 2 fries, so like 2 meals. Sorry. You guys, so Naomi and my sister-in-law just finished my makeup. Mud.
This was before.
And these fucking butt pads didn't fucking fit me. Cause you say daddy's home. You guys, I just woke up. I'm gonna order some Domino's.
Mood, you guys. Listen to this order.
It's Monday morning and I'm gonna order a lot of food.
Hello, thank you for choosing Domino's. Would this be carry-out delivered?
It's gonna be a delivery.
Alright. What can I get for you today?
Can I get 2 large pepperoni pizzas?
2 large pepperoni pizzas, okay.
And then can I get 2 thin crust large? Can I get one with jalapeno and pepperoni and just 1 pepperoni?
Okay.
That's 4.
And then can I get an order of your 16-piece wings?
4 pizzas. 16-piece
Okay,
wing.
flavor?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
By itself.
And then can I get
He's gonna get lava
do you
cakes.
guys have any new appetizers?
New appetizers at the moment. We just have salads. That's new.
Oh, okay. No, never mind. Can I get an order of your cheeseburger?
Not a salad.
Cheese bread. Let's see. Okay.
Yes, he is literally going to sit on the live and eat that.
Twist?
Cinnamon twist, lava cakes,
Glaze
and then he'll order a diet soda.
On the side, okay.
And
Yeah, he
then
said,
can I
"Fuck
get
that salad."
an order of your lava cake?
He's still ordering.
Lava cake. Okay.
And then can I get an order of your pasta? What is it called?
4
Sorry.
pizzas, chicken, pasta, lava cakes, cheese bread.
Alfredo. Yes.
That's the point, Julius, is not that it's his fucking life. We were talking about the views. how people will go and watch that shit, but they will not watch things that will educate or free them or even help them make money. That's that girl. And don't forget Tamika. But that's Zakia's girl. Hey, y'all. A week ago, you saw some nude videos on here. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. No. I'm jumping out of the plane. I don't care whether my parachute is tight or not. I don't. I'm out. Mm-mm. If I cannot find my audience here, I'll find it over there. 300 million. I'll go over there. You saw that B Love was in the hospital. Who cares? About the food, I will tell you, I will sit there and watch those people. You know who I used to watch Korean mukbangs all the time. I used to watch Korean mukbangs all the time. But for some reason, I cannot tolerate these people, especially Black folks doing mukbangs. I just can't. It pisses me off to no end. Every time. Because I know we have so much more to offer than that. You just started doing Tai Chi? I need to start doing Tai Chi. My aunt and I were talking about it. My aunt was saying that she goes to acupuncture now, and she's really liking it. And she's got a black, I told you she got all black everything down in Atlanta. She got a black acupuncturist, and they're teaching her tapping. I used to do tapping all the time. I haven't done it in a long time, and I should get back to it because it really does work. But I'm going to just go over this one little section, and then y'all have to go get the book. Okay? Y'all have to go get the book. Let's talk about some of these gaslighting terms. I'm not going to be here tomorrow, so don't look for me. Tapping is where you tap different parts of your body to control different bodily functions. Like you'll tap under your arm or you'll tap on your collarbone. There's a lot of videos for that on the TubeView. So go over there and type that in and you will see how to do it. Okay. Hold on. I wanted to get into some of the gaslighting terms that are used on us all the time. And we have just learned how to ignore it. And just ignoring it is not enough because it still wreaks havoc on us. It still brings up some internal resentment or frustration or something. And so when we hear these gaslighting terms, it is a trigger. Okay. So the modern day ones, the other ones are back in the day. The modern day ones will say, I don't see color. And what that means is I refuse to see what you experience. Oh, I don't see color. Someone is literally telling you that they don't see you. It erases racism while keeping its benefits. Number 2, when somebody minimizes the struggle. Everyone struggles. Okay. That means your struggle isn't specific or structural. The manipulation is it flattens racism into generic hardship. Racism has its own class of hardship. Race has nothing to do with it. Everything in America is based on race. Every single thing. Every system that is in place is based on race. Everything that they have created, all of these laws, all of them are based on race. All of them. The subtext is your pattern recognition is wrong. When we spot the pattern, they are the first ones to say, no, it's just your imagination. The manipulation is it denies context even when the evidence stacks up. You're being too sensitive. That means your pain is a personality flaw. The manipulation is it shifts responsibility from harm to your reaction to the harm. That's something that's always cracked me up. There's a phrase that goes, they're throwing rocks and hiding their hands. Okay. Gaslighting is like them throwing rocks and hiding their hands. Okay. That means they have injured you in some way, but they don't want to take responsibility for it. They're just going to pay attention to your reaction to the rock rather than the rock that hurt you, rather than the person that threw it. It was just a joke. Now, these things are not just specifically, there are some things that are not specifically white people. Okay. My sister was a master of gaslighting. My sister is one of those people that would say whatever she wants to say to you. And then when you get mad about it, she would say, I'm just playing. It was just a joke. That's gaslighting. That allows that person to get off whatever the fuck they got off and then follow it up with, oh, your reaction is not warranted. The subtext is disrespect is humor and you're the problem. The manipulation is it weaponizes comedy as immunity. Call them on it. This ain't just racial shit. This is on anybody that tries to shade you and gaslight you. Call them on their bullshit. You're always making it about race. I'm pretty sure y'all don't go a week without hearing that phrase. You're always making it about race. Subtext, racism is your obsession. The manipulation is it is naming what's happening. So instead of them acknowledging what is happening, again, they're mad at you for recognizing what's happening. And then it makes you feel crazy. All of this is just ways to protect white supremacy. Stop pulling a race card. The subtext is you're lying for advantage. The manipulation is it discredits you before you can be heard. Oh, you're just pulling a race card. It's just dismissive. Like they don't want to acknowledge anything that comes from the perspective of a black perspective. They don't want to hear anything when it's coming from a black lens. I have black friends. So the subtext is my proximity to these black friends equals innocence. I can't be racist. I have black friends. The manipulation is to use that token relationship as an alibi. I'm not racist. I'm just brutally honest. So the subtext is to use cruelty as truth. The manipulation is it reframes bias as virtue. So they're saying all kinds of shit about black people. Well, I'm just being honest about your alternative facts. You know, I cannot stand white women that have black babies. Have y'all noticed a difference between the biracial kids that are raised with a black mother? Have y'all ever noticed the difference between biracial kids that are raised by a black mother versus a white mother? I saw a video about this the other day, which I've always known, but I saw a video about it the other day. And it was two girls that were biracial that were raised by a white mom. And then there was one biracial girl that was raised by a black mom. And you could just tell by how they were talking who they were raised by. Because the one raised by the white woman went right into tears. It's just so hard to be biracial. The one raised by a black mama was like, okay. They're all over TikTok talking about it. There is a very distinct difference. You are being raised by a woman that banks on fragility and dramatics. And then you're raised by a black woman who is going to teach you how to survive and how to be strong and how to be resilient and how to be those things we've always had to be. White women have never had to be any of those things. So you cannot teach what you don't know. A woman literally got on TikTok and said she doesn't know how to take care of herself. How is she going to take care of her kids? If she doesn't know how to take care of herself, how is she going to take care of her kids? Exactly, Sylvia. Look at the difference. So I'm not racist. I'm just brutally honest. Or when they say, you're so articulate. I've heard that all my life. All my life. You're so articulate. And several times I've heard, you're not like all the other blacks. See, in Ohio, they don't cover up their racism. They just be saying it. And I think people just expect people in the North not to be racist, which is nothing could be further from the truth. They may not be out driving around with Confederate flags on the back of their trucks, but honey, you're so articulate. The subtext is, I expected you not to be. The manipulation is disguised insult as a compliment. Gosh, sometimes I wish I still worked around white people. I would wreak havoc on them. I would just, for fun, just for shits and giggles, I would just, every day, they would have to walk on fucking eggshells every goddamn day around me. They would see me walking down the hallway and they would turn and go back the other way. They would not walk past me, I promise you. They would see me. You're intimidating or aggressive. How many times have I heard that? You said, my son has concerns. He wants his biracial daughter to know our people. She lives with her mom and she needs to go to a black college. She needs to go to an HBCU. Those will be the best 4 years of her fucking life. See, here's what y'all don't seem to understand. Black people are extremely accepting of people. She's only 11. There's no hope for her unless your son is going to step in and get custody. She's going to grow up as a white woman. And just spending time with her on the weekends is not going to be enough. This isn't. The cure would have been not having a baby with her. But here we are. The cat's out of the bag now. The cat is out of the bag. He is out of the bag. Y'all be thinking about shit too late. You tell him, Fat Daddy Cakes. Y'all be thinking about shit after the fact. Y'all think it's so cute because y'all want to have these little babies with this nice hair and light skin and all that. And then you don't think about the hard shit. Like, what the fuck? How is growing up being two opposite races in one body going to work out for you? You literally have two totally different consciousness living inside one fucking body. You have two pairs of genetics living inside one body. How the fuck do you think that's going to work out in their favor? And then you look at them crazy because you're like, when they start talking about how confused they are, you're like, but I don't understand. Why are you confused? How are they not confused? Unless they pick a fucking side and lean into it, they're going to be fucked up. You're either going to have to be a black person or a white person. You're going to have, and y'all should have made that decision early. We want to honor both sides. Honor both sides for what? That's just going to exacerbate the fucking confusion. Our cultures are not the same. Our physiology, our minds, they're not the same. Y'all are expecting a lot from children. Y'all are putting some adult responsibilities on some children. And then you just, what, cross your fingers? If your son wants her to be black, then you need to say she's black and start leading her in that path, in that direction. You can't have these two different ideologies living in this little girl's mind. Because trust and believe her family is going to treat her like she's a nigga. I just fully believe that all biracial people need to lean into their niggerdom. Period. Lean in. Because you're going to get a lot further as a light-skinned black person than you are as a dark-skinned white person. You let me know how that works out for you. White folks do not care. You still a nigga. You still a nigga. Still a nigga. I have nephews that have married Mexicans and have a lot of children. You got the whole United Nations over there, huh? Mm-mm. My aunt that I talk to all the time, her kids have the United Nations, like for real. There's Filipino, there's Mexican, there's white, there's black, there's Asian. Like her son is married to a Japanese lady. Both of her daughters were married to black guys, but their grandkids are all different colors and nations. You saw the movie Passing on Netflix. It was definitely eye-opening. That's what I'm saying. I mean, for me, I just think that as a light-skinned Black person, with the way shit is set up, you would get a lot further being a light-skinned Black person than you would trying to be a mixed race white person. Because they're still going to say you're dirty mud blood and all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah, stick with your own. Just try to make shit easier for your kids than it was for you. It's just, you're setting them up. You're setting them up. And so you see a whole bunch of this interracial marriage where these Black ladies are now married to these white men. What the fuck do you think is going to happen in those situations? Those kids are going to be Black. And I hope that Black mama's like, I hope you don't think that they're going to be MAGA. I hope you don't think that they're going to be in all this culturally white shit. The fuck? I hope that they're strong enough to put their foot down, but I don't think that that's, I think, this is just me, all of this shit is contrived. Their birth rates are low. They don't need the bodies to be white. They need the mentality to be white.
Would you fucking balls?
Is that Fats?
God damn it.
Is it Fats?
Yes.
Come here, big guy. He just don't know how big he is. Come here. Stop being in the way, Bubba. Why can't you just go lay down, Scoots Boots? God damn it! I think all of this shit is a trap. But you know, I be spotting traps everywhere. Don't go back in there. You just got cussed out. What are you going back in there for? I knew he was going to let him come in there. And then there is Rose here on TikTok. 2 Black kids while the husband and the 2 white. What? I don't trust it. Because there's a whole subculture. And y'all may not be ready for this. There's a whole subculture of white women that will on purpose have Black babies just so they can be abused. There's a whole breeding subculture right now. Go look it up. Go look it up. They get pregnant by the BBC. They get pregnant by the BBC because their husbands are cucks. So they get pregnant and then they have the baby for abuse purposes. That's a thing. That is a thing. That's also a porn category. On Pornhub. Right now. There's a category of schmorn that is girls with their dads. Right now. On Schmornhub. Did y'all know that Schmornhub was owned by Isn't Real? And he's a rabbi. Did y'all know that? He's a rabbi. Right now. Yes. So as much as everybody is trying to convince everybody in the world that these people are so clean and so religious and all that, they're involved in all of the smut. All of it. All of it. All the smut. They're behind all of it. And I can't speak freely here, so that's why. I'm going to go because I'm hungry and I have no idea what I'm going to have for dinner. I ain't take nothing out. Oh, I got some tofu. Oh, I did take out some tofu. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's a whole concerted it's a campaign to change their image while they're still doing all of this dastardly shit. Like even in the files, they said, old boy said, you know, old boy is J.E. said that how they get rich is market manipulation. How they as a people get rich is market manipulation. They're already scamming. Y'all remember when the whole welfare thing was going on and I told y'all about how the biggest scammers were the Mews that live in New York? Y'all remember telling y'all that? It's been so many exposés as of late where people are going into their communities and interviewing them about how they survive. And because the average family that lives there has 7 kids. It's on my page, Miss Denise. The average family has 7 kids and none of the men work. None of them. They are getting $10,000 per year per kid. I didn't say they didn't have more than that. I said the average, and they're all on welfare. 70% of the community is on welfare. Every restaurant and grocery store accepts EBT. This is in Colonial Williamsburg. And the way that they can get away with getting all this welfare and the men not working is because they are studying the Torah. Bible study. Bible study. They don't have to go to work because they're studying the Bible. But we're the welfare queens. Yep. And look at how expensive New York is to live. They all get Section 8. They live in some of the most expensive. They live in one of the most expensive areas in the entire country, and it's paid for with Section 8. All of them walking around with them little hats on, with them little curly cues. They don't even speak English. Their street signs and their no parking signs and all of that is in Yiddish. They don't even require them to assimilate. They have centers that help them to sign up for welfare. They have community centers. You got to work 80 hours a month just to receive some SNAP. They don't even require, you know how white people be out here, speak English. They don't require them to speak English. Nope. ICE is not going to get them. Absolutely the fuck not. This has been going on for decades. This is not new. This has been going on for decades. They have their own, they have their own schools, banks, all of it. But the minute we try to have a parallel economy, it's a problem. The minute we build up something, here comes the fire, right? They have have to have their own stuff because nobody speaks English. Oh yes, they're racist as fuck. As fuck. But if you go and look at the fact that when you have Christians visiting over there, they harass the Christians. They literally believe that we are worshiping idols. That's how they view Christianity. But we're supposed to support them unequivocally. But if you ask them, they said we're worshiping idols with Christianity. Sure, you can send me a gift. Send me a galaxy. So please explain to me again why we're supposed to be supporting them and why we're supporting them when they hate us. Go look it up. I'm not making up nothing. I'm not making up a thing. You can go look. I'm going to go now. And I'm not going to be here tomorrow because I'm tired. And I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to sleep. By the time y'all see me again, I will have gotten a full 9-10 hours of sleep. Go get the book. And yes, we are still building Black Sheep Sweeps. And if you want to be a co-founder, please send me a message because that is going down. It is happening. We are still working behind the scenes, but I had to get this book out of my system. It could not wait another day. Now that volume 1 is done, I'm not going to get back to writing for at least a month or two on volume 2. So back now to my regularly scheduled programming, which is Black Sheep Sweeps. I will not rest until we have created something of our own that we are making money from. I will not. So if you want to be a co-founder and be a part of something that is going to change things for us, then definitely hit me up today. The book is on my page. Just click the thing. The Stan Store. Okay. So by the time I come back here, I hope that at least 200 people have bought the book. So we can have really deep discussions on the shit that you read. Not just me reading to y'all. Okay. The book club. What book club look like. So I'll see y'all. What's today? Is today Tuesday? I'll see y'all on Thursday. All right. Until then, be safe out there in the streets. Bye. Bye, YouTube. Make sure y'all go over to C Organics and get your book. Okay. Download it. Read it. So we have something to talk about the next time I see y'all. All right. Love you. Bye.